Battle of the Challenges podcast with Vincent Cloud
and David Lauer.
With, I would have to say, a moment in challenge history where I'm like, I don't know if I want to watch this show anymore. There was a little part of me that was like, this isn't your show anymore. It's transforming into something else. I would almost call this Rivals 3, Episode 4, Are You the One meets the challenge. Because if you think about it, like I've never seen the show Are You the One, but I could only assume that it's this sort of like, oh, drama for drama's sake, and like, ooh, isn't that sensational? You know what I mean? And I mean, once again, we don't even get a challenge. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You covered a lot of ground there. Like, first off, you're a huge fan of the challenge. Like, no one loves the challenge more than Vincent Cloud. So for you to be like, I'm giving up on this show. Like, this show is bad.
Yeah. It's our Swan podcast. Swan Song podcast.
Those are strong words.
Because what it is, not only are we getting overflooded with these immigrants from Are You the One, they're here to stay, just like the Mexicans. You know what I mean? Donald Trump, you don't know what you're talking about.
But they're changing the game because the producers are now like saying, forget about the missions and the challenges or the eliminations. We're just going to have parties every night and supply them with alcohol because that's all we've seen really this season.
Yeah. And you know what though? Not only are You the One people there, and as much as the fans hate them, I mean, they're not going away. In fact, this is the biggest dose of Are You the One cast members we've ever had. There's strength in numbers right now. But the other thing is, I do believe that MTV is now under new management.
There's a new Vince McMahon in charge?
Yeah. I mean, it could be MTV just saying, hey, Bon and Murray, the drama shit, we like that. Because I think they also produced Are You the One?
But that's what the real world is, too. A lot of drama. And I think you have to look at it as the Are You the One is just kind of like the minor leagues for the challenge, and that's just the feeder system.
Right.
So people, it's just they're taking people that the MTV brass has already kind of gotten to know, and like, okay, yeah, we know Tony. We're gonna put him on the challenge.
Oh,
they have a little bit of experience. They're not rookies to being around cameras,
right?
Even though a lot of them act like it.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So, yeah, maybe that doesn't even matter. I was going to say, they have experience in front of the camera from being on that show, but it's like, no, they don't really seem to translate.
Which could be a better show than The Real World. I mean, we'll get into that when Amanda and Tony get into that. Who's in the shittier reality TV show or whatever. That's such a bizarre argument. But
it's
is
awesome
relevant.
Because it's like someone from, Florida State and someone from the University of Miami. And just like, hey, what school are you from? And they're like, hey, I'm from Florida State.
Fucking douche. You mean they hate each other? Because, these two hate each other.
Yep. Yeah. Because they're both from different, alumni to different backgrounds or whatever.
Yeah.
Crappy MTV reality shows.
And then this Are You the One thing, I mean, like I said, it's here to stay. And like you said, it's scouting grounds. You know what I mean? They're like, oh, we like this people. Eventually, we might be... I mean, this is the new road rules. This is the real world versus road rules is no longer. It's real world versus Are You the One? I mean, we could be looking at the next season. You know what I mean? Because, truly, a lot of fans are like, fuck Are You the One? You know what I mean? Me, personally, I don't give a shit because I'm like, I don't even watch the real world. That's where you scout the talent. You know what I mean? So I don't give a shit. The only thing that matters to me is when they get there... They don't stick around. You know what I mean? I like Brittany and what's his name from Battle of the Exes 2. No, I'm talking about Battle of the Exes 2. It was Brittany and that other dude. And because, they did a lot of eliminations and I don't know, but they didn't stick with us. They didn't come back. Dario's the first and only person to come back from Are You the One? No, Christina too, I guess. But still.
I don't know. To me, it doesn't matter if you're from Are You the One or if you're a vet or whatever. I don't have a huge problem with the cast this year. It does suck that they don't stick around, but my problem is just with the producers and the way they're setting up the show. Like we were saying with not having an elimination, only showing half of a mission this episode.
Yeah.
We only saw 6 teams compete, and that was it. And the whole entire episode, we're going to start going through it and talk about all the drama, I guess, because that's all there is to talk about with this show, and this sucks. Because I'd much rather be breaking down missions, eliminations, talking about how certain challengers are like, oh, these seem like strong competitors this year, and it's gonna be tough to beat them. Like, we don't know because we haven't seen really anything other than like Johnny and Avery shimmy up a wall. That's all we've seen.
And we really have no feel for the alliances in the house. We're still kind of guessing because everyone is just drunk and yelling at each other. You know what I mean? We're not talking game. We're not talking strategy. We're not having these powerful moments. Like you said, you feel like Wes is on like some sort of retirement tour or whatever, because now what he's doing, instead of talking shop, talking game, talking politics, he's like, hey, Nate, talk to Nicole. Because, you guys are cute and this is what you should say. That's what Wes is being used for, because that's what the show is right now. It's bizarre. Could it be, let's spoil a little bit, not even the episode, but the next episode, where they bring in more new people? Do you think eventually Rivals 3 will straighten up and be a real challenge again? Are they just padding all these first few episodes because they're like, holy shit, we keep on losing and gaining and shit, but eventually will it be a regular challenge? Because why focus on all this drama? Obviously, it's because they lost all these players. You know what I mean? It's just annoying.
Do you think it was a reaction on like Leroy and Leroy and Avery going home? Because Leroy's back? Because they sent someone home? They're like, well, we're going to have to shuffle things around for these first few episodes and we're going to not do eliminations. And then some replacements came through, so they brought them in, and then they had to get more replacements, and it's just draining to me. It's like, come on. If people want to leave the show, fine. Get rid of them. Let's move on with the people we have and just do some missions, all right?
Yeah, that's an excellent point. Again, Brandon leaves, and he was a fan. Why does he leave? Because the show sucks. We just saw how sucky the show is now. No wonder he wanted to leave. I would rather go and get laid by my girlfriend than stay in this fucking hell house. Fuck. Man.
Exactly. There's no reason for these cast members to want to even stick around.
It's not
because
the same.
All they do is they're like, hey, we're going to have a DJ at the house, and we're going to have like some piñatas and like a fucking dance floor and a bartender, and we're all just going to get wasted. And then, God, they all stayed up till like 5 a.m. drinking.
Yeah.
They were up, and it was like they were showing timestamps where it was like 11 p.m., then like 1 a.m, 2 a.m, 4 a.m. Yeah, and Brandon's just like, I freaking had it. I don't want to be here. And who else said that? There was some other person.
His own partner, Brianna.
Oh, yeah.
Before that.
That's right.
He was like, no, I'm leaving. No, he didn't say that, but he did.
But wasn't there someone in a previous episode who was saying they wanted to go?
Fuck.
One of the new girls, I thought.
Oh, yeah, probably. Sure, I'm guessing. I can't think of them.
Yeah, but anyways, it's totally understandable that they want to freaking go.
Oh my gosh.
They're more like interested in just remaking like drama-filled moments and having them get drunk and just fight with each other, because they just want people to fight with each other so they can film it. And then the fact that it's the challenge and they're supposed to do missions, eliminations, that's just in the back of their head.
Yeah.
And like all this stuff, the drama they want to create, well, they're creating enough drama where people are wanting to leave the show because it sucks.
Yes. I would totally leave myself. Okay, so with all that being said, let's go through the episode. We actually have I only have like a page of notes. You have some notes yourself, and we'll just get through this as quickly as possible. I did not start this podcast because I was like, oh my god, the drama. Jesus Christ, let's dish about it, Dave. Come here and sit down. We're gonna fucking eat Yo plays and fucking watch this show and talk about it. Jesus Christ, you know what I mean? It wasn't like that. I was like, dude, the fucking missions, man, and then eliminations, and then politics.
It's awesome. Yeah, there's like CT, and he's going against bananas, and like fun, exciting stuff like that. But we don't get to see any of that.
No, it's all the shit, man. All right, so anyways, let's start off with Simone's torn asshole. Isn't that great? Let's get some more mileage out of this. The thing that I don't like about it is that, like, it's played up for yucks, and sure, it is funny, I guess, but I'm like, you're killing the time that we could have a mission.
It was completely unnecessary, and it didn't need to be on there.
And didn't she go to the hospital, like, oh my god, I might have really torn something, and I'm out of here, and Tom was like, no. But she comes back, she's like, it's alright. So I'm like, okay, well, that was a waste of fucking time. She's okay now. It's fine.
I think it was just they wanted Thomas to say that funny line that he said, and like, okay, that's why we kept it, just so Thomas could say something funny.
Yeah. Priceless Thomas banter. But I guess we do have to say that Simone hurt herself on that soap challenge.
Yeah.
The previous episode where that mission meant nothing. You know, teacher's like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter the fact that you basically embarrassed yourselves on national television for nothing. You've jeopardized your relationships back home. You know what I mean? Like that's
and Nany and Wes got first in that challenge, and then they're like, TJ's, don't worry about it. We're not going to have an elimination. So even though the mission is completely didn't matter.
Yeah, and the worst thing about this soap challenge in episode 3 is that Simone's not the only person that hurt herself. Apparently, a lot of the girls got yeast infections from this thing.
Are you serious?
And the dudes hurt themselves too. They were just like, fuck, my fucking nut. Yeah, like, fuck, this would have annoyed the shit out of me if I was there.
I was surprised they didn't have them, like, wear something, like, more than just, like, their Speedo. Because they're just wearing those Speedo, like, underwear. Or they're, like, you know, skin-tight wetsuits, but they're super short. Like, that's not protection at all.
No. Well, a producer's like, it's what? It's soap. It's the cleanest thing they ever had between their knees. You know what I mean? And apparently the mission took 20 minutes to do. That's insane.
That's a lot of friction.
Yeah.
Especially for down there.
Yeah. All these girls are like, I've never had a man last this long. This hurts now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Brianna's like, remember when her makeup's melting off? And like,
just come already.
Yeah. She's like, soap's in my eye, but we still have to go. This is not complete. Yeah.
Come on.
Wow. All right. Well, anyways, that was ridiculous. So Simone comes back. She's perfectly fine. So I'm like, well, okay, well, that was a waste of 5 minutes or whatever. What else? Nicole wearing glasses without makeup, but glasses.
Yeah.
Big enough nerd glasses, quote unquote. Where, you know, you see girls who post photos of them and they're like fucking hot as shit, but they have glasses on.
Or they'll wear like a Star Wars t-shirt just to act like they're a nerd.
Yeah, they're like, oh, I'm a total nerd, lol.
Yeah.
One actual nerd's like, this is fucking insulting. Like, I live with nerdom day in and day out. I don't, you know, it's not an Instagram situation. You know what I mean? It just, I don't know. But anyways, Nicole's wearing those glasses, and I guess she tells Wes, hey, I think that Nate of all people is hot and attractive. That's weird. Coming from where? The chicken shit that wouldn't jump out of the plane? The guy who cried in the dojo?
Yeah, who the hell would like Nate? Nate he talks like he's talking, I don't know, he just talks funny to me. And then he's a total wimp. But I'm guessing that the producers whispered to the cast that morning at breakfast, they're like, hey, tonight we're going to have a DJ. And we're going to have a dance floor and a bartender, and everyone's just going to be getting wasted. So then Nicole's like, I need a date. That's why she brought it up, right?
I suppose. And then Wes goes and says, hey, Nate, tell her these things and ask her out. And Nate goes up there and is extremely awkward. I'm like, you were on a dating show, Nate.
Yeah, come on.
Those were your origins. God damn it.
He should have a little bit of experience with this.
A tiny bit. Jesus, fuck,
Very
man.
uncomfortable. Come on, man.
So, yeah, what is he... I don't know what he even says to Nicole, but Nicole's like, okay, yeah.
Yeah. It was... If he was reading it off a teleprompter, it would have been better than the way he said it.
So now, I think the house party begins, and Nicole is back in the action once again. I think Nicole tells... she hears that Camilla told Christina or someone from Are You the One to not trust anyone. And I think Nicole interprets that as don't trust anyone, especially Nany, who, you know, aren't Nany and Camilla supposed to be best friends? So she goes and tells Nany that. Nany, of course, gets pissed off, and I think it leaks back to Camilla. And everyone has their periods, okay? This is goopy female drunken bullshit. Like, I can't stand it. Like, I've lived these lives where I'm out with a girl and like her friends and they get drunk and it's just the same shit. And I'm like, I've lived that. I don't want to see that. I mean, it's too real. It's too realistic. Too much reality TV. I don't know, whatever.
It was the same thing when they're talking to Christina later, when they're like, oh, I heard you had an alliance with Vince and Jenna. Are you no longer on my side? Or are you on their side? And it's like, oh my god, it's like, it's a stupid argument. And it's like they're like, no, they just said that, hey, yeah, we're not gonna vote for you if you don't vote for us. In that situation.
Well, that's true.
In this situation, it's Camilla, she heard, like, when she said it, she thought it was like, don't trust anyone but Kellyanne and me. That's what Nicole was saying to Nany. And I was like, I don't, okay.
Which she lied about, turns out.
Yeah.
So when Nany and Camilla are yelling at each other, Nicole can be seen in the back, like, snickering, just like, hey.
Yeah, she created it all.
Yeah. And these are supposed to be two friends. And they once again get in this huge fight, just like they did in Free Agents. Remember Nany tried to fucking punch Camilla? And they're friends? Like, this is why I cannot stand Nany. And this is why I know for a fact Camilla Nader, as we all know her at, will never go away. You said the other episode, you're like, I think Camilla's, maturing now. She's becoming a woman.
She just hadn't drank. I'm like,
no.
She just hadn't gotten drunk.
Yeah.
That's all it took. It's pretty easy, and you put her on Nany, and like they can say that they're friends all they want, but they deep down hate each other's guts because the second there's some alcohol involved, they're just going after each other. But I love that scene, like you were saying, how Nicole was just seen like looking and snickering, like when Camilla was in the bathroom or something. And then Nany is talking to her, and you see Nicole poke her head around the corner, and she's just got this smiling. She looked like the Joker. That's what she looked like, with all this makeup on and this painted on smile.
Why so serious, she says. But eventually, when Camilla and Nany separate, Kellyanne says, and she has a really good point, Kellyanne's like, listen, this is not worth it. I mean, this isn't a big deal. And Camilla's like, don't. Stop saying it's not a big deal. Kellyanne, on the other hand, we know that she does yoga. She probably fucking, zens out. She's really chill, man. She is the voice of reason. She is a beautiful voice of reason. She's so fucking hot, and she's so calm, and she's just kind of like, she knows that this is probably the worst part.
She's like, let's do some stretches and meditate on the matter.
Yeah.
See how we feel in the morning.
Fuck, man. But, like, Camilla won't have any of it because she is not mature, as some of us like to think of her as.
Yeah.
She is not going to mature because she's not going to step down from all these younger bitches that are never going to stop coming. There's always going to be another Amanda, Ashley, anyone to piss her off. They're never going to stop. So this whole Camilla Nader and like showing those old clips, well, hopefully let's get some new clips. I hate the whole like her hitting the floor with the chair. I'm like,
oh, it's great. It's one of the most. No, it's not played out. That's one of the most iconic scenes ever.
You're gonna
Camilla
die.
throwing furniture. The "You're gonna die" line was great too. But you didn't have any lines like that or moments like that where it was really like a great little 2-second clip.
Yeah,
there was nothing like that.
No,
it was just her being super annoying, Nany being super annoying, and then Nicole not really doing anything to stop what she created.
And you know what the other thing is this, when Nany's getting into this fight, there's no little scene where Wes is like, oh my god, my partner. There's no connective tissue to what's going on in this argument and the actual challenge itself.
Well, yeah, and they showed that couch there right at the beginning before all this fight was going on. There was Bananas, and he's sitting there next to like Dario and who else was there? There was 3 or 4 guys there, and they were all just talking about, hey, who's gonna start this off first?
Oh yeah. They were all.
They're like, I bet it's gonna be your partner. Oh, no,
is that what they were doing?
Yeah,
that's right.
It was Bananas and Tony and
Vince. I'm guessing Dario. Johnny Riley.
I think
basically those 4 guys who were like in that pose when they were all looking around the corner. Remember that?
Probably. Yeah. I think Dario was there. Did you say
Dario? By the way, is pretty cool this episode. Out of all the Are You the One, like we keep on bitching about him or having all the shit to say. Dario's actually, he kind of won me over a little bit. Yeah, he had great lines.
It's weird because on the Bloodline season, I actually liked Rafi more than I did Dario.
That's right. Yeah.
So I was a little disappointed Dario was back.
They switched it up.
Maybe they swapped. Yeah, they swapped passports, and then they're like, "Oh, Rafi's going."
Yeah, man, fucking.
You never know. Or maybe it's like an Olsen twin situation where one hides in the closet,
yes.
and then when like the camera guy turns away, the other guy jumps out.
Yeah, and then like Kellyanne's like, Dario, come back to bed. He's like, just a second. Tanks, Rafi. And then eventually Dario's like, hey, Kellyanne, you ever watch The Watchmen? It's like, why do you ask? Have you ever seen The Watchmen?
No, but
Okay.
I feel like I know what this is going to work towards.
Where Dr. Manhattan can multiply himself. I'm glad that you never watched it, but you knew what I was going to say, basically. Anyways, yeah. Call me Dario Manhattan, baby. Multiply, bring Rafi into the mix. They fucking do a fucking Eiffel Tower on her ass.
Yeah, you gotta
Wes
fill that
is like,
void.
oh my god, I missed out. Wrong time.
Can't turn a hoe into a housewife.
No, you can't. But you can turn her into a fucking iconic. Is it one of the 7 wonders of the world? The Eiffel Tower? No, probably not.
Eiffel Tower? No, it's far too new. It's far too small.
Okay.
There's only like 2 of what? No. Is it one of those even exists to this day? And that's the pyramids.
No. What about the Easter Island heads? Isn't that
That's
them?
not a wonder of
No?
the world. No,
What
because
about-
those were discovered long after they made
What
that
about
7
Stonehenge?
wonders. I don't know. That's not even part of it. It's just like the
That-
hanging gardens in Babylon, and then like
Yeah.
like the
They're not around anymore. Yeah. Well, thank God Kellyanne is. she's a 8th wonder of the world. How many wonders?
well, that was Andre the Giant, and then the
Oh.
9th wonder of the world
And
was
then
China. So Kellyanne could be the 10th.
Oh, the
wonder of
10th
world.
wonder of the
Yeah.
world. Okay. Okay, so anyways, Nani and Camille, they're arguing. Holy shit, who gives a
Is there
fuck?
anything else to really say on the matter?
No, there's a little bit. Hold on. Here it turns out. Okay, so eventually, when Camille and Nani do separate, Nani comes back to Nicole. Nicole says, "Oh, by the way, the more I think about it, I don't think she actually said your name. Camilla never said don't trust Nani. She just said don't trust anybody. So now Nani's like, fuck. So there's a little bit of maturity in her a little bit. So she goes to Camilla, and Camilla's like, get the fuck away. And Nani's like, hold on. And she tries to explain it. But eventually Nani does not, she kind of gives up. She's like, fuck it. I don't give a fuck now. I was just like, fuck, whatever. Jesus Christ. So that argument stemmed from Are You the One? Meanwhile, Are You the One people are sitting around and they're like, okay, I'm pretty sure Christina and Nate have an alliance with Jenna and Vince. I don't know how did they figure that out? Do you remember?
No, I don't remember
It just kinda
exactly.
came up?
But yeah, it was from that dinner they had, and then they said they were,
No, I mean, like, how
equitable.
did they find out about it? That's what I don't remember at all. I don't know
I'm
why.
sure
it's
Nate
fun.
said something to someone.
So now Brianna's like, okay, so clearly Nate and Christina, they have an alliance. So that's when Brianna, she's bitching out Nate and Christina. She's like, if we ever had the chance, Are You the One, to win, this is that season. And here you are shaking hands with Jenna and Vince. Like, can we even trust you? Blah, blah, blah. And Nate and Christina, I believe, both say, when Brianna gets mad, there's no use talking to her. And you said that yourself, where she just gets up and she's like, oh, fuck it, and she wants to leave. And they're all just like, no, this is what? Like, this is important. Like, we're trying to say, we didn't make an alliance. It was a deal. They were just said, hey, we're not going to vote you in. You don't vote us in. You could still work an entire house to your liking, just knowing that you have that one little cushion with the other part of the alliance. I don't know. Brianna, it doesn't matter because Brianna's fucking pissed.
Well, what they needed to do was just be like, hey, we don't like that you said that to Vince and Jenna, but hey, if Are You the One people really want to win this season, hey, here's an idea. Just lay it out there. Hey, we need to have an alliance. We're never going to vote anyone in. I want to hear those words come out of their mouth.
Yeah.
Like, they need to be saying that and talking about that. They need to have the numbers on their side. It doesn't matter if people in the house know. You need to rally the troops up.
Exactly.
But instead, they're just gonna like banter and have these petty little bullshit arguments.
Yeah, like again, like I said, Are You the One is the challenge high school years or something like that, where everyone's just like they're just all too stupid and full of hormones and angst. You know what I mean? They can't just stop and really think about what's going on. And I will say this: Nate and Christina having a deal with them, they had no choice. They were sat down and they were like, "Hey, we're not going to throw you in," and
we would hope for that in return, and they're like, "Oh yeah, of course, yeah."
What are they going to say? No, fuck that. Throw us in. They're not going to say that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They don't have the balls, man. Okay, so finally, fucking Brianna wants to leave, right? Brandon, her fucking partner, he's like, "Hey, man, don't leave. You're drunk. Remember, it's just you and I, you know, and we're partners here together.
This was I wrote down. I was like, Brandon is a great teammate. Like his teammate was upset, and Brandon was like, "Hey, I'm gonna be there. It's you and me. We're in this together." This rah-rah speech, and I was like, yeah, I wanted to clap at the end of it. And I'm like, this is awesome. Like, he's got a really shitty partner who's fucking stupid, and he's just gonna be like, hey, that's okay, I'm gonna talk her out of this.
Yeah, and he does. She does say, okay, maybe I did think, I don't know what. Anyways, yeah, talks her out of it. But this night's not over. Tony and Jessica are hanging out, and then Amanda from Are You the One is there. The chick that just will not, she will not back down from shit. So now, obviously, Tony and Amanda are butting heads like they were in the previous episode. And they're talking about which reality show is better or something, right?
Yeah, and this is just later in the night. They've been drinking for hours and hours at this point. And they want to talk about, which show's better. And we kind of touched on it before, and it was, I mean, it's like, it's arguing a douche versus a turd sandwich. Like, you know, neither of them's that great.
Yeah. Well, his point was like, hey, when I was on Skeletons, I didn't have any money, so I couldn't even pay the fucking bar tab. You know what I mean? And then he says, Are You the One? You guys were in Hawaii and everything's paid for and shit like that. And she's like, whatever. I don't even know what you're
something to be proud of. Be like, fuck yeah, we didn't have to pay for shit. Be like, hell yeah. We lived off of MTV's dime.
Yeah.
I'd be bragging about that.
Doesn't Are You the One win way more money, too, if they win? Like $1 million or something?
No way.
It's way bigger than
Really?
the challenge. Yeah, I mean, I think.
Or more than the real world. There's no prize money in the real world. All they do is film you and, like, violate you.
Yeah, they violate you.
There's no prize. They're just violating your privacy.
And then fucking... What else was I going to say? Are You the One? Have we ever seen an Are You the One winner on the challenge? Because if it's $1 million winner, I mean, you know, why would he subject himself to the challenge house and for just like pennies to him by that time? Or her. Them, right? I'm guessing a guy and a girl have to win each season, the perfect couple or whatever.
I guess. And like, what exactly are they winning? Like, and how do you win? You just make like a false promise of like, yes, I will be in a monogamous relationship with this person.
I have no
for
idea.
3 weeks. That's
like,
how you win. You just pick someone out.
Yeah, because all the people are probably like fucking, you know, bitches and assholes, or it's like, I want to fuck everything. I could only fuck this person for how much? $1 million? It's probably not $1 million, is it? Probably not.
I hope not.
You hope not.
Give those stupid people $1 million.
If it was,
they would be broke and homeless in like a year and a half.
I would go on Are You the One if that was $1 million. I would never do the challenge. I don't know if I've ever said this, but I would never fucking go.
Really?
Because it's not the same. I would have went during the golden age when like Miz and Coral were on, maybe then, but not now. Especially not now. Maybe pre-Ruins or something. Yeah,
I could see you and Theo having a rivalry back in the day.
No, I would love Theo. We would form an alliance. I would be his Dan S. I don't even know his last name. I just remember from Wikipedia. Alright, so anyways, when they're arguing, Tony's like, you're fucking dumb, you're a fucking bitch, and Jessica is by his side and she's like, you're yelling at a woman. And he's like, what? What get out.
But she's being stupid, and Tony was kind of right. But I mean, he was getting really fired up, and they were getting mad about it.
He was getting heated up. Camilla walks in, and she's like, hold on, I need more scenes. No, she's there to fucking defend Tony, which is a good partner, so that's fine. Alright, so anyways, Camilla Nader comes out again. Now it's Camilla versus Amanda. I don't even remember a thing that was said. Like, I was starting to... Because how many arguments is this already?
Yeah, this is argument after argument after argument.
Yeah, so
and
now...
all I remember is Camilla yelling at Amanda, saying, this is why I'm still on this show, so I can put you young bitches in their place or something.
No, the reason why you're still on the show, Camilla, is because you peaked on X's, one, and you've been on a downslope ever since, and where the fuck are you going to go? What are you going to do? What is your talent? Oh, you get drunk and you throw furniture onto the floor. Or you walk into a pool and say, you're gonna die! That's it. Like
she's the same as Nani.
That's all Nani. Wait a minute. Camilla's a business owner now, isn't she? Or some shit?
Yeah, Yeah.
Episode 1, she's like, I own a something now or something.
She owns like a spa or like
a
a
spa,
meditation
that's right.
spa or something like that. Or
Meditation to
or
calm herself? Well, it's
or
clearly
maybe
not
like,
working.
Maybe it's like a massage place or something like that.
Yeah. Well,
There's no way she would be there and just upsetting everyone there. There's no way anyone could relax. They'd be playing like death metal instead of yoga music.
Alright. But, you know what? The craziest thing is, Camilla and Amanda, this new chick Amanda fucking, like, puts her hand in Camilla's face and shoves her away. Mm-hmm. Which, to me, is fucking badass. That's metal. You know
it
what I mean?
was. It was just like a straight, like, kung fu jab.
And Camilla...
the producers, like, jumped right in
security.
Immediately.
Security.
The red shirts were just in there.
Alright, so anyways, everyone knows who Amanda is. She's from Are You the One. She will not step down. She pushed Camilla into, Camilla's face, who is, you would have to argue, the most veteran, most respected, quote-unquote, most experienced female challenger there.
After Sarah.
Well, she's the most hard. Well, Sarah's not going to do shit if she gets pushed, is what I'm saying. Everyone's like,
yeah,
shit,
but I just
Camilla.
mean respected. I think people respect Sarah more than they do Camilla.
Sure, but no one's going to be like, oh my god, what's Sarah going to do now that she got shoved? Because Sarah's not going to do anything. Camilla, on the other hand, I was just like, holy fuck, this is the end of Camilla. But she didn't punch,
Yeah, I was a little surprised she didn't bash her head in. But I think that's why the producers, they're like, oh, she's an asset. We have to stop this fight before it happens. Have Camilla get sent home. They'd have to find a third set of replacements if Camilla punched someone and Camilla and Tony went home.
Oh, the fucking replacements, man. Okay, so finally, everyone's like, holy shit, Amanda really fucking did shit, And I'm like, oh, Amanda, you're badass. Like, you don't give a shit that you're from Are You the One. I don't give a shit that you're from Are You the One. You are badass. Or you're a big bitch. It doesn't matter. But, like, you're standing up for yourself. But then she ruins it all in the very next scene where she's alone and she's crying. Little tears. I'm like, come on. Don't ruin the facade. Like, just keep it up. I need a fucking badass bitch who's gonna break all these other girls because Camilla's annoying, Nani's annoying, Kellyanne's cool, but fucking get in there and do your. So I don't know. It was weird to see after all the arguing, all the bitching, Amanda finally gets back into her lair and weeps. You know what I mean?
But it shows that she has a soul. She's a normal person,
that's
unlike Camilla.
Yeah, I was let down, and then I'm like, wait a minute, this is a real person. So that's a good point. Yeah.
But at the same time, I just feel like Amanda is just the next generation Camilla who's just going to pick fights. Because she's only been here 2 nights and she's picked fights both nights.
She's called herself the next generation or something like that. She's like, we're the new kids. We are taking over the challenge. We are here to stay, basically. Again, this kind of tying up to the theme. And then in the next scene, Jessica kicks Tony out of bed for yelling at women or a woman.
And anytime Tony drinks, he just stumbles into Jess's bed thinking she's just going to, like, fall on his dick or something. And she's like, no, there's 6 other beds in this bedroom and a camera looking right at me.
Yeah, and I got my boyfriend on speed dial.
Yeah.
Bitch.
We broke up, but,
Yeah, but he...
Maybe I haven't completely burned that bridge.
Yeah. He misses that ass. So he will answer. So I was like, alright, fair enough.
I do want to applaud Jess for her restraint. Because most chicks seem like they would probably just bang
They would
Tony.
fall for it anyways.
Oh yeah, and we would just see like the scene of like the covers, and then the feet poking out, and then it would just say the label on the bottom like Tony and Jess.
A label, yeah, I guess.
Because like they would have like people in a closet in like some seasons, and you wouldn't really know who it is, and it would just like say it on the bottom of the screen, the people who were back there.
That's true.
I think maybe her point was he was being really disrespectful, and it was like, hey, be a gentleman. Don't talk to women like a fucking asshole.
Even though Amanda is arguably the most looking for a fight sort of chick.
Yeah, she's definitely a dog picking a fight. It seems like at any corner, she's always trying to instigate something or start something. Wow. But I don't know. Tony's not the kind of guy, though, who's able to just, okay, I'm not going to take the bait. I'm just going to be cool. The same for Camilla. Like, if there's a fight in front of her, she's going to go for it. Yeah, even when you refute her with facts and logic, she's still going to, like, Camilla mode is activated. There's no turning back.
So, yeah, Jessica kicks Tony out of bed or whatever. Which is like, I actually liked it because I'm like, yeah, get away from her, asshole. She's mine. So next, oh my god, here's the morning. Brandon calls his girlfriend on the phone, and she's like, "Oh my god, I miss you," and she starts crying, and Brandon's like, "Oh my god, I miss you as well." And now Brandon wants to leave.
Okay, because they had Daria was giving like Brandon like awesome words of wisdom.
Oh,
this is really what made Dario seem awesome this episode.
This is what put him over.
Yeah, and he's like, you know what? 60 years from now, you're gonna be, you're gonna have flabby skin, and you're gonna be banging your old lady, and you're gonna be thinking, hey, I've been having sex with this girl for 60 years now, and what else have I done in my life? Well, I did go on that Mexico trip, and after a week, I got a little homesick for her, so then I just skipped out and went home.
Oh, that was fantastic.
And it couldn't. And he's only been there for like a week and a half or something. What the hell's a couple more weeks, 3 more weeks, if you even last that long? Like, that's a small amount of time to go back and see your girlfriend. It's 3 weeks. She ain't gonna go anywhere.
Well, that's what Dario says.
Yeah.
She's not going anywhere. But, again, you are in the challenge house. This is no longer a fun environment. It once was. Like I said, back in the day. Like, maybe 2006 is when it got bad. Anyways, yeah, Brandon wants to fucking leave. That night, Brianna comes and she's like, "Hey man, you told me to stay. What the fuck is the matter with you? Like you gave me that speech and I believed you, and like the audience loved you, Dave loved you." You know what I mean? And Brianna's like, "I don't give a fuck. I want to go." And she's like, "Well, you're so fucking annoying. No wonder everyone says that you're annoying. Peace out, fucker. You're a pussy and you're a little bitch and all this shit." Right?
It was awesome. I loved it when she was yelling that shit at him because she was completely right, and I hate Brianna. Like, she annoys the crap out of me. She, like, her and her drama is just stupid as hell. And her and the argument she gets into, she doesn't even have intelligence when she's trying to argue with someone. She just blabbers shit that makes no sense. But, like, for Brandon, yeah, he gave that epic speech, and then it's like he had a little time to think by himself, and he was like, "Nah, I'd take it all back. Maybe we do need to go home." Like, all he needed to do if he really wanted to go home was to just let Brianna be pissed and want to go home and maybe encourage her a little bit.
Oh my
then
god.
He could have gone home like a victim and be like, "Oh, shucks, I get to go home."
Shit.
What was he thinking?
Oh my god, yeah. He could have avoided the wrath of dumbass TJ or whatever. Sorry. Alright, so anyways, the next day, during the mission, before it's all kicked off, now, like, TJ gathers everyone. He's like, "Okay, before we get started with this mission, let me do what I do best, or at least what the audience likes me to do, which is bitch and moan and rip on people and being a huge verbal bully and shit like that." And they're like,
I completely disagree with everything you just said.
And if I was if I was in the show and I was on the fucking show, I was like, "Oh my god, why am I here?" I'd be like, "Hey TJ, weren't you hired to be a host and like say your lines correctly so you don't have to cover everything with ADR? Very obviously, like, and then guys, remember, you can't do this." And then it's like a constant splicing of his performance because he's a shitty fucking host. I was like, did they hire you to be a host, not to be this fucking cyber bully asshole dude? Because he doesn't.
How is he being an
because
asshole?
Because he doesn't need to be ADR'd or re-say his words when he's cussing people out. He cannot fucking say his own lines when it comes to the missions and the challenges and the eliminations. Fans, I don't know if you know this, but a lot of fans know that he's really bad at it. There's a lot of ADR moments where you're like, "Oh my god, he clearly said the rest of it on a microphone in a studio because he can't say the rest of the words."
In what planet are you, like, in what planet is that TJ's fault and not the producer's fault? TJ's job is to say the lines that the producers give him. If the producers didn't give him that line, then how the hell is he supposed to say it?
These are basic, fundamental parts of the challenge where he's like, "Or remember, you can't touch the beanbag," and blah blah blah, And then
TJ doesn't know the rules to the missions. The producers do, and the producers tell him. So if the producers don't tell him, how's he going to say it?
No, I'm saying he has lines. He has a script. He has to explain the mission. He has to explain the elimination. He has to introduce all this stuff, and he can't remember his fucking lines, which is then replaced with ADR.
So
there are fans out there who know that he's shitty at this job.
Okay, so you guys, you've seen the script to the show, so you know that the line was there in the paper and he didn't read it, and then they had to do it later. It wasn't the fact that he was never fed the line to begin with?
No,
That's what you're stating, though. I'm saying,
within this sentence, my voice would sound different and then all of a sudden it would sound normal because he
and that's
fucks up that word. You never knew that?
And it's not because of the writing that he has to read?
What do you mean? So
where they leave stuff out and then he has to stick more stuff in? Well, they don't, because you were talking about how they have to do, like, oh, don't touch this and step over this line because that's a foul, and different rules to it.
Yeah, but
if you have to go back and state some of those rules over a mission, and you have to edit in the audio because they didn't give him his lines correctly, that's not his fault.
All right. Well, anyways, TJ says, I don't know, what does TJ say? Tell me. What does he tell Brandon?
He just says his generic thing that he said every year for the past, 10 years when someone wants to go home. You know how I feel about quitters.
I know. It's like, you know me. I'm like, whatever, TJ. You're famous for this show,
and
you're shitty at it.
How are you saying he's cyberbullying because of the fact he said, oh, you guys are going home. Yeah, don't take care, hope to not see you. How is that cyberbullying? Because he enforces this negative.
Okay, Brandon. Oh, we just said this episode.
So
Brandon wanted to leave because the show sucks. You laughed. We laughed together and we agreed that the show is horrible, and that's why Brandon wanted to leave. And now you're changing your tune. And you're saying this piece of shit. You know, he should have stuck around or whatever. I mean, well, it's all true.
He should have stuck around.
But
I laugh because it is shitty. Though. It is funny because it is shitty. Yeah. But his reason for going home is stupid. If he said, "I don't like this show because everyone here is just being drunk." And,
that would be better.
And annoying, and all they do is bitch and fight with each other. That's why I want to go home. If he said that, I'd be like, bravo, you're awesome. But instead, he's like, well, I'm just going to use my girlfriend because I love her so much.
Yeah.
Like, that's lame. Come on. And you know what? How happy would his girlfriend be if he was leaving, and he was like, oh, babe, I got you a check. I got second place or some shit, you know? I got like 40,000 or whatever second place is.
That's true. Well, I mean, whatever. I'm sick and tired of talking about it. He leaves. Brianna has to leave. All the casts get a little segment where they're like, well, fuck off, you pussy. You know, see you never. Sorry, not sorry. I'm like, sorry, not sorry. Who said that? I've heard that countless times before. You know who said it? Bananas. Oh, yeah, thanks a lot, Bananas. Jesus Christ, come up with your own shit, goddammit.
Yeah, and who did Bananas steal it from? I'm sure he stole it
Another
from
reason
someone.
why I would never be on the challenge, because that motherfucker would be there. And he'd be like, hey, Vince, let me impress you with quotes. Oh, my God. Let's throw this in real quick. Remember when Bananas showed up? In the first episode, he's lying in the hammock, and he's like, believe me, I love to win, but I remember the losses far more than the wins, or whatever. That's an actual quote from the movie Rounders. So once again, the first time he gets camera, he quotes something. Isn't that ridiculous?
But even Rounders, it's not even like... Rounders took it
It's
like,
not even
from other
Damon's
people.
best. If you got a quote, go to a hunting or something. Say like... He should have sat down in the hammock and said, how you like them apples? You know what I mean? Regurgitating Gordon Wood or whatever the fuck. Shit. Or The Martian. Never seen The Martian. Alright, so anyways, okay, let's get to... Oh my God, we can finally get to the actual mission.
Yeah,
what
the
very
whole
little
point
that
of
there
the
is.
challenge, because the challenge is supposed to be missions
Look
and
at that.
eliminations.
Look at 47 minutes and 47 seconds on complete... bile.
Bile's what breaks down the shit, though. So it's
okay.
It's worse than bile.
We're bile. That's shit. We're gonna break that shit down. Right?
Yeah.
All right. So, anyways, it's randomly selected because there is no jungle winner this time. Last mission didn't give a shit. It should be Johnny and Jessica. All right. So now it's randomly selected. First is Jenna and Vince and Nate Christina. I don't know. Nate and Christina. Oh, I'll just say about Nate and Christina is that Christina has some trouble because this is, again, this mission, it sucks if you're short. It just sucks. And to me, that's another no-no in terms of production. You cannot write someone off because they're just not tall enough. That's not fair. That, in fact, that actually shows how unimaginative you are. Where it's like you didn't factor in every single possibility.
But I think it's kind of counteracted by the fact that you're doing it with a partner, so that way you're short, but your partner is tall, so they can use their long legs and long arms to hold on to the bar and bring it closer to the other bars so you can hop on. I feel like it was kind of, while it may have been a little bit tougher, it wasn't as bad as the one where they were leaning with the rope. That one was really at a huge disadvantage for the short people.
Well, these short people, how do they do? 2 planks or something like that? Then they fall or something?
For Christina and Nate, just got 1, and they fell in their second one.
Oh. Which, by the way, this mission is kind of brutal. All the falls are just like, what the fuck? Like, we'll get into it later. Okay, next is Jenna and Vince. How do they do? They get to, like, the second one.
Yep. They got to the second one, and then they, I don't know, they fell or let go on the third one. I think maybe they fell when they're trying to jump and hang on.
To the third transition, we'll call it.
Yeah.
Next is Simone and Thomas and Ashley and Corey, right?
Yep.
All right, Simone and Thomas. Again, Simone is like, I can't even fucking reach this. I'm short, you know? And Thomas is like, well, thankfully I'm tall and dull as hell. So they held the kid far enough.
It was impressive. She was able to jump and hold on.
I was actually really impressed.
Yeah,
because
she had some like super glue on her hands or something, because right as her hands touched, it was like, she was on there.
I mean, she's still short, but she still can get some fucking vertical shit.
Yeah, I was just impressed that she had the grip strength to hold on. Because a lot of them, you know, they can jump there and they just smack their hands against the bar, but they don't have the coordination to actually hold on to it.
That's true. How do they do? This is where all my notes end, so you're gonna have to take the reins.
Well, Simone and Thomas, they got to the second rung and they fell after the second one, and Corey and Ashley, they did really well.
Yes, but then this is where Ashley almost died, right?
Yeah, they got to the third one where it was like the bar was way up higher, so like what they're trying to climb onto is like above her. And she has to, like, snake her way, like, up onto it and got up there. And then as they go for the next one, Ashley falls off and falls into the water.
Yes.
And she was, like, a foot away from hitting these, like, collection of 3 blue barrels that are, like, joined together. And all I can think is, what the hell are you doing, MTV? I'm like, why are those blue barrels right below them? Because they could easily have, like, pulled an Owen Hart and they could have smacked their head against the barrel, like, and then have a broken neck or be dead. That is so dangerous. You know, the whole thing is they're going to fall off. That's why they have life jackets on. That's why you do it above water.
It was really close. She still gets hurt, though, too. I don't know what the fuck happened to her.
Yeah, she was really, like, scraped up and, like, cut on her shoulder. It was really messed up and scary looking. Yeah. She looked like she was alright, but it looked pretty brutal.
Yeah, and she said, like, she lost feeling in the hand for a little bit, right? But it's kind of nice because Corey's like, hey, you didn't, you wanted to quit, but you didn't. You didn't even want to try that last transition, but you did. So they're talking to each other, and they're like, and Ashley's like, you know what? We'll try it again. I don't give a fuck. We're fine. And even Corey's got a little bandage on his arm. So I like their fucking spirit. I like that, and I like that Ashley's more than just a fucking drunken pile.
Yeah, she seems to really be into this mission. And this is the stuff I like breaking down when we see when we're able to be like, oh yeah, Ashley, she seems like a good competitor. Like, I wouldn't want to go into elimination round against her.
Yeah.
But this season we're on the 4th episode now, and we've seen 1 elimination.
Yeah, 1 elimination.
1.
And so far, 1 complete mission that matters.
So 25% of the time we get to actually see an elimination at the end of the episode. Yeah. It sucks.
All right, next is
Dario and Nicole. Well, they jump on, and then they're dangling there, and like Nicole's like, "Come on, Dar, just reach with your feet. Come on, Dar."
Yeah,
and he's like, "My feet don't reach."
They don't even get to the first thing.
Yeah,
right?
they just dangle there, and then he's like swinging his legs back and forth. And I was like, "Come on, dude, you have to whip your arms too." He's just like swinging his legs back and forth. Whip your arms forward too to get the momentum of the freaking pole going that way. Yeah. Well, they didn't. They're just dangling there, and it was like, it's not that, like, anybody can. Everybody else, I don't know, unless Dario just weighs so much weight that there's no way.
Corey calls him a fat ass or something.
Maybe like that. He should, because like he could not get that pole to move.
Yeah, they both have to just drop into the water.
Yep. So they got 0. So that puts them in last place.
That's not looking good.
And then the last team is Tony and Camilla.
Ah, right.
And Tony, he's, super tall. Camilla's good. They went and they got to the first one. And they got there. And then they started going for the second one where Camilla fell.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. She fell. A super dramatic slow motion. They slowed it down. And you're like, oh my God, are we going to witness like a bone break or something? She lands. And then she's just completely still.
But she kind of landed like on her ass or her back, So it was like,
ass boy.
It was not like, oh, you landed on your face. Those are the scary ones. and it wasn't like Leroy and Mike falling. Remember when like Leroy like kneed him?
Yeah.
With that horrific sound. Poor Mike. And Mike still swam after that. Kudos
That's
to
true.
him.
Right. Okay, so now Camille falls and she's completely still. She pops back up. She's kind of doing the dead man's float, and she's like, "Somebody help me!" Like that. And we're like, oh, "Well, is she hurt?" And then cut to it was the end. It didn't even say to be continued.
No, it's just the roll credits.
They're not doing to be continued, and I'm just like, there's no sense of momentum, really. I mean, I guess I need it to be spelled out for me. I must be old school. Maybe the young audience is like, you don't need it spelled out, motherfucker. But what is the worst part of it is like, it cuts out, and then you're like, oh my god, is Camilla like paralyzed? Like, did she rupture her spleen? You know what I mean? Are Tony and her twinsies, or what? And then they show they're like, on the next episode, Camilla's perfectly fine. She's just sitting there like laughing and watching some more drama unfold. And then again, at the jungle, I think TJ's like, we've been losing a lot of partners. Here's two more people or whatever.
More replacements.
Yep.
Maybe Leroy's back is feeling better. We're just going to bring it back.
Really?
Maybe.
Oh gosh. Oh my god. That'd be so fucked up. I never heard of anyone leaving then coming back. I don't think it's ever been done, actually. Outside of Bananas from Exile. And Nadia, of course. But that's not the same.
Who was it? Was it Jordan who went home because he cut his chin? Or no, it was Chet.
Chet. Fucking Chet.
Yeah. He's like, I cut my chin. I want to go home.
It's like a pussy. All right,
so that's kind of what Leroy did, though.
Back up. I don't know why I want to defend him. Give a shit.
I know, that's the thing. It's hilarious. If I take a certain stance, sometimes you'll just go defend the other thing.
Well, I mean, I believe in being a devil's advocate because, everyone needs, has a right to a fair trial or whatever. But all right, so this was by far probably the worst episode. I was just kind of annoyed by it. The drama, I can understand why producers want to keep it. I mean, I'm sure some fans out there are just like, oh, this was amazing. This is awesome. Oh, we didn't have a mission again? We'll get it next episode. You know what I mean?
I think those people who like the drama, they don't even care about the missions and they don't care about the eliminations. They're just watching it to
just for the drama.
Stare at people. Like, that's all they care about.
I mean,
so if you're into it for that, that's fine.
Yeah. But
that's like stuff that we tolerate in order to watch the missions.
Exactly. So, I don't know. Now that it's over, comment. Let us know if you liked the episode. I feel like I hated it, you hated it, but if you were the type that were like, hey, I actually liked it for this and that, I'd be interested to hear why or what. Subscribe. Check out our channel. We're actually covering Rivals 3 and Rivals 1 at the same goddamn time, man.
Mm-hmm.
And thank God, because this Rivals sucks. You are going to be able to, weigh and, what was it called? Deduct and, oh, remember when Rivals was good compared to, when it's fucking shitty now,
Yeah. I feel like this season they didn't really have many good rivalries, so then now they're just trying to get them drunk and start the rivalries while they're there on the show. The episode was a disappointment, and it's just the fact that they don't do a standard episode with the standard stuff that needs to be included in an episode.
And we already know that next episode we're not going to have a jungle again.
Do we know that?
I think so, because I don't know, maybe.
They could finish this mission and then do a jungle, then bring in new people and do a mission.
Yeah, but at the jungle itself, that's when TJ's like, you all know that there's people leaving, so we're bringing in new people. So I think instead of that doesn't make any sense.
But
why would you bring?
They're probably bringing them in so that way they can pick out the skulls and see if they're going to get randomly brought in.
Oh yeah.
So maybe they'll show up and then get sent into the jungle immediately.
We could finally see those toy skulls again. Woo! God, this season. You know what? This season really sucks. I mean, Rivals was my favorite, and now I'm just like, this is just like Bloodlines, but worse. I think Bloodlines was better. At least that had a fucking mission, jungle, and end. Battle of the Challengers podcast with Vincent Clad
and David Lauer.